Hey guys, Tony here again, Signature Servicing Debt Settlement. A lot of people ask me, they say, Tony, I need to get a car. Should I buy one or should I lease one? There is no answer. Everyone is in a little different situation. I try to tell people you have to do what's best for you in your particular situation. Now, leasing a car, I think of leasing a car the same as renting a car. Basically, you're paying for the right to drive that car for a specific period of time. And normally that's 3 to 4 years, okay? When you go and lease a car, you have a lot less options than buying a car. You can't lease a used car. You can't lease the pre-owned car. You could typically only lease new cars. And in fact, if you go in a dealership, you can't lease every car there. They have a bunch of cars that you can lease, and for some reason, there's some other cars that they don't lease. Okay? The other thing is, when you lease a car, all the financing is done at the dealership. You can't go to a bank, you can't go to another dealer. If you're going to lease a car, the leasing and the financing is done in that dealership. Okay? But there are a lot of good points to leasing a car. The first thing is the cost. They say if you lease a car, it's normally about 50% the price as if you bought the same car. Okay? The second good part about leasing a car is the maintenance. There is no maintenance, okay? As long as you have the keys in your hand, the dealership takes care of all the major maintenance. And the third thing, and I think the reason why most people like leasing a car, is because you know that every 3 years you can be in a new car, and people like that. Now, some of the drawbacks of leasing a car, and you have to understand, the first thing is you do not own that car. 3 or 4 years from now, you're going to drive that car into the dealership, give them the keys, because it's their car. Now, I know I hear people say, well, Tony, there's open-end lease where you can buy the car after the lease. I looked it up. It's over 95% of people that lease cars leave the car at the end of 4 years and lease another car. So I don't think that's realistic. The other thing is when you lease a car, there's mileage restrictions, okay? They allow you to drive a car for a certain amount of miles, and it's usually 10 to 12,000 miles a year. If you go over those miles, you owe all that money to the leasing agent when you return your car. And it could be substantial. It could be 10 to 50 cents a mile of everything you went over. The other thing you have to worry about is wear and tear. When you return a car after 3 years, they want to see that this car has normal wear and tear, meaning it's supposed to look like a 3-year-old car. A little scratch here and there is nothing for you to worry about. But if you have a dented in quarter panel, you have a cracked windshield, you have bald tires, you either need to take care of all of that before you bring it back to the dealership, or if you bring it back to the dealership, you're going to have to pay them. Typically what dealerships will do is they'll say, hey, you have $4,000 worth of mileage and problems with the car here, we're going to add that $4,000 to the next time you lease a car. And that's typically the way people handle that. One other thing that people don't think about, but your accountant knows about, on leasing a car, there are different deductions that you can take. So I suggest, depending on if you're in business, you work for yourself, there's different things like that. People need to look at that because that may be another reason why it might be better to lease a car than purchase a car. Buying a car, it's a little bit different. We all know what that's like. You have a lot more options. You can buy a used car. You can buy a new car. You can buy a certified pre-owned car. You can finance it any way you want. You could pay cash out of your pocket. You can go to your bank if you have good credit. You could look at different things online, or you can finance it through the dealer. So you have more options, okay? The good part about buying a car is it's your car. You can put as many miles on as it. If you want to have a 4-year note on the car and you want to drive it for 10 years after that, you could theoretically have a car that you have no car payments for 10 years. If you want to put 1 million miles on it, whatever it is, you have a right to do that. The other thing is when you sell the car, any equity in the car is yours. You can use it to buy another car. You can sell the car outright and put the money in your pocket. The bad points about buying a car is, number one, the cost. Remember, if you buy a car, it's going to cost about twice as much as if you lease the same car. The other thing is the maintenance, okay? You are responsible for all the maintenance. So if you buy a used car, some of them have no warranty. Anything that goes wrong with this car, it's up to you to fix out of your pocket. Even when you buy a new car, a lot of them have, 5 years, 50,000 miles. At the end of that 5 years, you're responsible for anything that goes wrong with the car. So it could become more expensive. So again, the answer is everyone's in a different situation. What I would say, if you're the type of person who thinks you're going to buy a car and you're going to keep this car for 10 years and you don't care about the maintenance and you're going to put a lot of miles on it, it's much better for you to buy the car. But if you're somebody who wants to pay as little as possible to get in the car, you don't drive that many miles, you don't want to worry about the maintenance, and you feel that you want to be in a new car every 3 years, then leasing is a better option for you. The only other thing that I tell people is a lot of people I talk to, they have 2 cars in their family. If you're a 2-car family, it might be the best idea to lease one and buy one. Guys, sometimes it gets confusing. Just give us a call. We've been through it all, and I'm sure we can point you in the right direction. Thank you.